If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This African proverb inspires Foundation's community partnership to foster collaboration among networks for special needs children, youth, and families in Bucks County. Welcome to FCP Conversations Online, featuring Bucks County nonprofit leaders. Join our discussion with community organizations that share our mission and are making a difference in the lives of our neighbors.
Hello, I'm Ron Bernstein, the Executive Director of Foundation's Community Partnership. Welcome to FCP Conversations Online, and thank you for joining us. Our guest today is Penny Ettinger, the Executive Director of NOVA, the Network of Victims Assistance in Jamison here in Bucks County. Penny, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ron, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, Penny, it's great to have you here at Foundations. Can you tell us a little bit about NOVA and its history?
Sure. NOVA started in 1974 as WAR, Women Organized Against Rape. It was a county program, not supported by the county, but a nonprofit. And over the course of time, when victims were more recognized nationally and on the local level, it evolved into NOVA, the Network of Victim Assistance, in 1984.
What do you see as your core mission?
I think the mission of NOVA is to support, counsel, and empower victims of sexual assault and other serious crimes in Bucks County, and we work to prevent and eliminate violence in our society.
Well, NOVA has a pretty big footprint in our community. I know you have offices in Jamison. You also have offices in Percy, I believe, and in the lower end of the county. Is that true?
Yes, that's right. So our main office is in Jamison, and then we have a counseling and advocacy center up in Percy, and as you said, and then also down in Fairless Hills. In terms of direct services, we're pretty much focused on Bucks County, and we really provide a continuum of services. So our core services are counseling and advocacy. So from advocacy in terms of direct service, what we mean is that we provide victim support from the point a person becomes a victim, whether that's the remaining family of someone who's been murdered or it's a sexual assault victim and everything in between.
Yeah, I know you guys also work with some seniors also.
Yes, we do. We do elder abuse advocacy and we do elder abuse services. And that can mean anything from identity theft or fraud to, the egregious physical abuse of an elder.
And then a couple of years ago, you guys started a child program, a child advocacy center that works with the various police districts throughout the county.
Yes, so the Child Advocacy Center is a team approach with the district attorney's office, local law enforcement, and children and youth. And it really is on the side of the investigative, it's on the investigative side. So if a child is identified as being assaulted between the ages of 3 and 13, we provide the forensic interviewing, and it's a multidisciplinary team. So local law enforcement, again, the DA's office and children and youth will be there, and they're watching from a remote camera the interview that goes on. So that's a little bit to the side of our victim services, because we want to always be sure that we're separating the investigative side from the victim services side. If you come to our offices, there's a door between the two, and it's sort of our literal and figurative door that we keep those two things very separate.
Well, what are some of the other unique services that NOVA is providing in our community? I know you guys have developed a variety of curriculums that get used in different settings here in the community. Can you discuss that for us?
Absolutely. We have, as you know, a rather large prevention education department, and we provide services in the schools. And last year, we provided services to over 36,000 school-age children, college students, adults, parents, and teachers. And that ranges from personal safety to bullying programs or no more bullying programs. One of the interesting things we've recently started is a peer education program. So we have adolescents who are in the classroom providing that program to other students. Most recently, we had 6th graders providing that education to fourth graders and first graders in one of our local schools. And our team is there to train those peer educators. And so the really nice thing about that is that it changes the climate of the school as well as someone just coming in and presenting. Another big piece that we do is services for those who are disabled, developmentally disabled, both children and adults. One of the things that we're working on now is a curriculum that we hope will be evidence-based soon to serve children with autism. So obviously their needs in terms of learning about personal safety are very different because their boundaries are different than a typical child and their understanding of personal boundaries. So we're very excited about that.
Well, how do people in our community learn about NOVA or, connect with you if they need those types of services, whether they be a victim or needing children's services?
So we have a hotline that runs 24/7, 365 days a week, that is managed by staff and very highly trained volunteers. And anyone who believes they're a victim, thinks they're a victim, their family member is a victim, can call that number. Certainly, if someone needs prevention services and they happen to call the hotline, we'll redirect them to our prevention department, or they can call our main office.
Well, and how do you connect with the police departments? Because they're on the front lines. They, a crime is involved. They get involved, and do they refer people to you who they think need your services? How does that work?
Let me give an example using sexual assault. So we have the SANE program, which we coordinate. It's a sexual assault nurse examiner program. So if anyone goes to an emergency room or calls our hotline, is directed to the emergency room, then our nurse examiner goes to that site as well as an advocate. And they're there to support that person and also do the exam that is needed for an investigation. The police department may have made that phone call, may have had the person make that phone call, but we work directly with what is, I believe, 43 different police departments in the county.
Well, you guys do a lot of really important work. Tell me where the funds come from. How do you guys pay everybody?
We have funding that's fairly diversified. We have federal funding that comes down through several sources. One is the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, and the other one is the Pennsylvania Crime and Delinquency, known as PCCD. We also have unrestricted private funds that we've raised. Obviously, FCP has supported us, as well as individuals in the county. I think one of the creative things that NOVA's done is sort of gone beyond those traditional funding tracks. And we started our Thrift Shop 15 years ago. So the Thrift Shop has allowed us to raise unrestricted funds in the area of $200,000 to $250,000 a year net. And that's all through donations that people in our community have made to the Thrift Shop, and we turn around and sell. So we're also supporting the environment with reuse.
An organization like NOVA, you guys must get pulled in a lot of different directions. How do you ensure that you don't have this terrible sort of mission drift and lose the important work that you guys do here in the community?
It's interesting you asked that because we're asked to do different programs and activities often. And we always sit down as a team and look at our mission and look at what we're being asked to do. And some of the first things we do is, one, we look to see who else is doing it in the county. Who else is the expert? Childcare would be a perfect example. Do we provide childcare when a victim's going through the court system? No, because there are other options for that. We help someone find that. We've recently been approached about doing a campaign around gun safety and putting locks on. Well, our first response to that is, are the local police departments doing that? Are they successful at it? Can we support them at that? So we really try to focus on what we do and what we do best.
Penny, tell me, if people want to get involved with NOVA, if they want to donate their time or if they want to donate some dollars to your cause, how do they go about doing that?
You can call us. You can donate online. You can donor designate your contribution from the United Way, or you can get a matching gift from your company. There are a variety of ways you can do that, and you can look at that on our website, which is www.novabucks.org, Or you might want to volunteer. Someone might want to volunteer. They can either volunteer by supporting victims through being an emergency room volunteer, through the hotline, being a court advocate volunteer, or administrative volunteering, skill-based volunteering. And we have probably 60 volunteers at our thrift shop.
Wow, that sounds great. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved with Nova. Well, as the new executive director at Nova, you've been there about 12 months, 18 months now?
8 months.
8 months, okay,
Yeah.
Not quite. Then you really are new. What do you see as the major challenges, and what are you looking forward to?
I think the major challenges for an organization that is as mature as Nova is in terms of number of years is sustainability. As you know, funding comes and funding goes, from whether it's public funding or private funding, and we really have to look at sort of that long term. So building an endowment, looking at more sort of profit ventures like our thrift shop, diversifying our funding, really looking at real collaborations, whether that's with our funders or with our partners who are doing other services. So if we're really going to make a difference in this community in terms of reducing violence and supporting those who have been victimized, we need to look at a continuum of care. And that care can't be interrupted because of funding gaps, and that services have to be provided by a continuum of organizations. So Nova has a very specific responsibility, and there are other services like long-term counseling, for example, that we need to partner and ensure the partnerships that we have with other organizations so that that victim can continue to get the services that they need.
Well, Penny, now that you've been here for about 8 months, and you've got your feet on the ground, have you discovered any great lunch spots? Because I'm always looking for a great place to eat lunch.
Wild Ginger.
Where is Wild Ginger?
Wild Ginger is where the Giant is on York Road.
And what's their specialty?
Japanese.
Okay.
Sushi, Asian food.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
Absolutely.
Where'd you go to school, Penny?
I am a Buckeye. I went to Ohio State, and then I went to Drexel as a grad student.
Great. And where were you right before you joined the Nova team?
I ran my own consulting business, and before that I ran a small organization in New Jersey that's similar in its mission to Nova, but really focused primarily on children.
Well, are you excited about what you're seeing here at Nova in Bucks County?
I absolutely am. I've lived here 27 years, and I've always worked outside of the county, and I'm happy to excited to bring my focus back to my own county where I live. And sadly, there's a lot of crime in this county, and I think that's a big thing, is that we live in a place where nobody thinks it happens here.
Right.
And sadly, it does. So if we can make a difference.
I think we're really lucky to have Nova. Penny, thanks for the great work you're doing here in our Bucks County community. Thanks for joining me today to share your experience and knowledge leading Nova. And thank you to our listeners for your involvement in our community. Visit our Facebook page and like us because we like you, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join the conversation.
Foundation's community partnership believes that when we join forces, we're stronger. We are better able to support the behavioral health and human service needs of children and young adults in Bucks County. Join us again for FCP Conversations Online. Let's go farther together.